How you doing, guys? This is Hybridsteel. Welcome to Hydroneer 2.0.6, and today we're going to be talking about the rakes. And the reason why is because, well, there are two rakes, because apparently Max wasn't happy enough that we only had one. So we've got two now. One of them is a dull rake, and the dull rake is basically your tier 1 rake. So guess what? It digs tier 1 dirt, right? And the other one is, guess what? The tier 2 common rake. Congratulations, big prizes for all. So what we need to do is we need to test out these new rakes because, well, the rakes have changed. They're a little bit different now, and unfortunately that just means they're going to work a little bit differently. So I need my trusty pickaxe wherever I bloody put. I'm not sure where I put my pickaxe. Oh, there you go. There's one of my pickaxes, and many others I have. Okay, so what I need to do first off is we need to basically look at this. This is unfortunately one of those sort of like byproducts of the old rake. The old rake used to leave little tiny lumps everywhere. As you can see, little lump, little lump, little lump. And basically what that little lump is if you were to put a drill on top of that, the drill would actually touch the bottom of this. But the old rake used to basically flatten the ground out and then leave these little lumps. The little lumps, unfortunately, are like the byproduct of the old rake. Basically, I'm left with these funny little lumps. Now, obviously, this rake is going to work like that rake. All right, it's just this rake works on tier 1, this rake works on tier 2. However you use these is going to use the same way. All right? Coolioaks. Right, so here we go. This is the tier 1 rake. And what it's actually doing is it's actually building the layer that actually finishes on tier 1. So this is a concrete block. Okay, as you can see, it's actually leaving a lap. Why are things not rotated properly? Okay, so as you can see, this concrete block is actually on a level, right? This level is what I would call ground floor. And ground floor is where this concrete block is, where these are standing, where these are standing. Here you go, I'll show you. So my ground floor is where that ground would actually be. Now, if you were to level out all of this, this is ground floor. This is where the drills sit, and so on and so forth, right? So basically what the rake has done is it's taken from this is ground floor and actually built the ground floor around this item. So I can now build the ground floor back, which if I wanted my drills to sit base properly on the actual dirt, that is where they should actually sit. They would sit on this and they would work perfectly and all is good. Now what the rake actually does now is it basically just levels up to where we are. We can't dig with the rake anymore. So normally I would basically just do this, and that would be enough to normally just lower the rake down to that level. But this doesn't work anymore because what it does is it just repairs what you've already done. And it'll repair it really, really nicely as well, because you're affecting every layer around it. It actually smooths off all of your damage. So that in itself is actually quite nice. It does mean you can actually use this for repairing holes. So as you can see, I've smoothed off that sort of like top section now. And this basically is what I've been saying. It now works a little bit differently. It builds instead of destroys. If you want to use the rake and you want to basically build a trench now, instead of just hitting the dirt once, you hit it twice. Alright? And what this means is you're doing a lot of the work when it comes to mining yourself, but at the same time, you're now doing the section of the work which will have the most impact on how you're going to build a trench or a hole or anything else. So here we go. Now we're actually building a trench. Alright, and that is because we scored down into it twice with the pickaxe, and now we can build out our trench. And there you go. So that's a perfectly scored off hole that now has scored size and scored everything. We now have basically a proper trench now. So, how to raise land? Unfortunately, it does mean you're going to need to use a spade. The plus side to this game is you can actually duplicate dirt. Alright, so it does get a little bit funky. Now, obviously, we've raised the land up to the actual like base of like part 1. Alright, so what we can do is we can actually take this. Right, so here we go. I'm going to fill up my little hole. There we go. Now, we've put 3 shovelfuls of dirt in the bottom of this, and we've made this little knob. There's no better word for it. It's a knob of dirt. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our rake. As you can see, if I push this button, I go down. If I can go up to where I've put the knob of dirt, I can now duplicate the dirt, and it now rakes the whole thing back into place. So basically, when it comes to flattening out the whole of South Hope or your entire plot, you're going to have to dig down 2 times into a block to use the actual rake to actually take away the land. If you want to bring back the land, you have to put three separate shovelfuls of dirt, and then we're all good. And that is literally how you use the rake. Honestly though, when it comes to bringing up that layer, to being able to actually sort of like bring up levels to the specific point of when a drill could just sit there and touch it, this is really good. If you're looking to just build drills like this, now it's going to be the same down on tier 2. So if you take your common rake and you do exactly the same practice, you can then you're then able to put dirt underneath an actual drill without really digging too much. Let me just demonstrate this down in tier 2. This is where I would mount a tier 2 drill. You've seen this set up before. I've been down here many times with this. And now we've got the common rake. We can now build upon the land, and we can actually sit our drill on this actually spit of land properly. And then let me just bring a drill in. Alright, so that's all set up. We put our rake underneath, we put our dirt of rake underneath. And there you go, flawless. It works straight away first time. And I haven't had to do any unnecessary digging. I've just basically leveled off the dirt in order for it to work under the drills. And this will be the same on tier 1 as well. So at the end of the day, we now have a way of being able to get the perfect dirt underneath that drill. It basically brings it up to the level that we need, and it works, well, basically better than it already has. But yeah, there you go. So now you're able to square off your like caves properly. You're able to do things better, and it just sits a lot nicer. You're not going to be able to dig properly with this anymore. That was just something that needed to stop. In fairness, I sort of agree. And the reason why I agree with it is because it was a really cheaty way of digging. But, you know, it works. And at the end of the day, I hope this has helped you understand how now the rake actually does work and what it actually does for your builds. Like I said, if you want to fill in a hole, you put a couple of shovels of dirt in there, make a little knob in the middle of the block, and then you can bring all the dirt up, and basically it duplicates dirt to level out the playing field. And I like it because it means that your drills don't need massive amount of like separation of dirt below them just to work better. So there we go, that's the new rakes, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, notification button below for all other updates, and I'll be back with a brand new video, live stream, or whatever else I do on this channel. Until then, thank you very much for kicking by. I've been Hybridsteel. I'll see you all later. I want to say peace out, have fun, enjoy everything you guys do. Boom, fist bump to you.